All right, let's talk about intuition because it is one of those words that gets thrown around constantly, especially in business and spiritual spaces. Yet, some people don't actually know what they mean by it. For some people, intuition is this vague gut feeling that they're supposed to just magically trust. For others, it is something mystical that only certain other people can have. And for a lot of business owners, intuition just feels fucking unreliable, like something you want to trust, but don't dare to when real decisions are on the line. So if you've ever thought, I want to trust myself more, but I don't know when it's intuition or when it's fear or wishful thinking, you are not alone. This is something we all go through at least once or twice in our lives. Because intuition, it's not about knowing the future, okay? It is about reading what is actually happening, but faster. So for context, I am Carla-Jayne, the practical magic coach. I am a tarot reader and business coach, and I spend most of my time helping people use intuition in a way that actually supports real decisions. Because I am a big believer that intuition should make your life and your work clearer, not more confusing. And before we go any further, if this kind of grounded, practical approach to intuition and business is your thing, you might want to subscribe. So I put out content like this regularly, and it all builds on itself over time. Let's get cracking and talk about what intuition is and isn't, because this is where things can go a bit sideways. One of the biggest problems with how intuition gets taught is that it's treated like a feeling you are supposed to believe in. But intuition is not a belief system. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a signal. And like any signal, it gets distorted if you don't know how to listen to it properly. Let me preface this. Intuition is not fear. Fear is loud, it's urgent and very dramatic. It wants certainty, reassurance, and control right now. Intuition is usually much quieter. It doesn't rush you, it doesn't argue its case, and honestly, a lot of the time, it feels a little bit boring. Intuition is also not impulse. Impulse wants immediate relief. It wants to get out of the discomfort as fast as fucking possible. And it's also not overthinking either. Overthinking is your brain trying to create safety by analysing every possible outcome until you are just exhausted. Intuition tends to land very simply, often without much emotional charge at all. So that's why so many people miss it. They are waiting for it to feel profound, for the other shoe to drop, when actually it often just feels clear. Now, business is where intuition often gets completely scrambled. Not because you suddenly lose your intuition, but because the stakes feel higher. Money, visibility, responsibility, other people's expectations, all of that creates pressure. And pressure shrinks your listening capability, especially if you are not wired that way. P.S. Most of us are not wired that way. Add in advice from 10 different people, algorithms telling you what you should be doing, and the fear of getting it wrong. Intuition gets drowned out by all that fucking noise. What most people interpret as I can't hear my intuition is actually I just don't have enough space to notice it. And this is important. So I will say this clearly. You don't build intuition by trusting it one time. You build it by noticing it repeatedly. That is one of the reasons I created the Soulful Business Playbook, because most people don't need more information. They need somewhere to slow down, to reflect, and actually notice what's going on for them. I will link it below if you want to work alongside this video rather than just listen in and move on. Oh, and it's free! Okay, so how does intuition actually work? I want to give you a really simple way to understand your intuition in practice, especially for business decisions. So you think of it in 3 parts: signal, filter, response. The signal is how intuition shows up. This might be a body response, a repeated thought, a sense of calm clarity, or something that keeps coming back without panic attached to it. The filter is everything that distorts the signal: fear, urgency, old beliefs, the need to be liked, the need to be right. And your response is what you do or don't do with that information. Most people assume intuition is about getting the signal right, but the real work is in noticing the filters. That is the bit that actually builds self-trust over time. So I have some exercises for you. Yay, homework! Enjoy. So number 1 is the binary decision test. So this is the simplest way that you can start training your intuition, and it works best with everyday business decisions. You take the decision and you reduce it to a yes or no question. No explanations, no future planning for those crack planners out there. I know, because I used to be one. Just yes or no. Then you notice your immediate bodily response, not your thoughts, your body. Do you soften? Do you tense? Do you exhale? Do you clench your bumhole? And then, this is the important bit, you don't argue with this response. You just notice it. You are not handing over control. You are gathering your data. Your second exercise is the noticing rule. Intuition often repeats itself quietly and calmly. Fear repeats itself fucking loudly. So instead of asking yourself over and over and over and over again what to do, you track what keeps returning. So if a thought, an idea, or a nudge comes back over the course of a day or two without the spiral, okay, that's very important, without the spiral, pay attention to it. That is very different from something that keeps popping up because you're in anxious mode. You are not looking for urgency, you are looking for consistency. And this is the kind of thing that I get people to track inside the Soulful Business Playbook. Not to micromanage yourself, but to start spotting your own patterns without judgment. And remember, it is free. Let's go into our third exercise. We are going to add some tarot. And I want to be really clear about how I use tarot. It is not there to tell you what to do. And it is definitely not there to reassure you until you like the answer. So stop pulling all those clarifier cards. I see you, boo. Okay? I see you. Put the fucking deck down for a minute. Sorry, not sorry. I use tarot as a mirror. One card, one question. What do I need to consider here? No clarifiers, no re-asking, and no spiraling. The card doesn't make the decision for you. You make that decision, but it helps you to see what you might be avoiding, overlooking, or already sensing underneath the noise, but you're missing the signal. That's it. And we work like this inside the Boss Witch Tarot School, by the way. Not prediction, not performance, just consistent, grounded clarity that you can use every day. I would like to talk about sabotaging, not industrial shit, okay? This is internal, sneaky as fuck self-sabotage. This is where a lot of people undo the work without realizing it. They keep pulling cards until the answer feels better for their narrative. They ask the tarot to make them feel safe instead of helping them to see clearly. They ignore intuitive nudges that require uncomfortable action, or they only trust their intuition when it agrees with logic. But intuition isn't here to keep you comfortable, boo. It's here to keep you aligned. And that alignment isn't always convenient. Again, sorry, not sorry. So if you want to actually build trust with your intuition without too much pressure, keep it small. Stop fucking overcomplicating things. All right? One decision a day, one noticing moment, one quick note. What did I feel? What did I do? What happened next? Don't judge yourself. Don't wait for some gold fucking stars. Just track. It is data gathering so your logical brain can feel safe so you can get that comforting serotonin chemical. This is how intuition becomes reliable. Not because it's perfect, because perfection doesn't exist, but because you're paying attention. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, maybe someone who keeps second guessing themselves or who's overwhelmed by advice and not trusting their own readings, share this with them. Not because they need fixing, but because sometimes hearing this shit at the right moment makes things click. And if this way of working feels grounding rather than overwhelming, if you like intuition with structure and you want a way to practice this without needing to be on or impressive, that is how I teach inside the Boss Witch Tarot School. It is not about being more intuitive. It's about listening more often and building trust through repetition, not pressure. You don't need to unlock anything. You already have intuition. You just need space to hear it. And if you want to hear more conversations like this around tarot, intuition, building a business that actually fucking fits you, you are welcome to like, comment, or subscribe. I do read the comments, actually. It's just me, and they often shape what I talk about next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.